So today we're going to be talking about the most overrated fighters in each UFC weight class, in my opinion. We're going to change it up today. Why is the Xbox Game Pass giving me a notification? Fuck off. We're going to be starting in the heavyweight division. We've got Sergei Pavlovich first up. Now, this guy does have some really big wins in the division. Curtis Blaydes, obviously, which is a class win. Really, really good win. I think Curtis Blaydes is underrated. That's just my opinion. You've got Tai Tuivasa, who at the time wasn't a bad win. And then you've got former title challenger in Derek Lewis on there. Now, Sergei Pavlovich is a good fighter. Obviously, just coming off a loss to Volkov where he essentially got schooled. Let's just call it what it is. In the UFC, though, he has been on a pretty decent run. The only other losses he has in the UFC, are to Alistair Overeem, which was ages ago, and the current heavyweight champion. Yes, I said it. Current heavyweight champion Tom Aspinall, who knocked him out. Outside of that, he has beaten some big names. I literally just said that. Don't know why I'm repeating myself. But what makes Sergei Pavlovich a bit overrated, in my opinion, is yes, the guy is dangerous. The guy is a big puncher. He has finished some really good people. But people get on, like, I remember seeing a post, and if I could find it, I would put it on screen. It was that long ago. I remember because it was a post I made that kind of got a bit of traction on TikTok when I first started. And it was people saying that when it's all said and done, Sergei Pavlovich will have a better MMA career than Francis Ngannou. Which is like, I don't understand where people were getting from that. People were comparing him to Ngannou, saying like he's the next Ngannou, he's the Russian Ngannou. If you go back and look at it, like, Sergei Pavlovich is beating these guys up and stopping them, yeah, but not the Ngannou level. Obviously, Derek Lewis beat Ngannou, but when you look at the way he stopped Tai Tuivasa, like, Tai Tuivasa wasn't completely out cold. Same with Derek Lewis. Like, Derek Lewis got straight back up and protested the finish. I think he is pretty one-dimensional. I don't think he's got good grappling. I think that if he can't get you out of there, and you are a competent enough striker, I think you can have a lot of success in there with him. Like, Curtis Blaydes, I think, would smoke him in a rematch, because I'd like to think Curtis Blaydes has actually developed fight IQ this stage in his career and know to take him down. Also, he was having success with leg kicks in there against Sergei Pavlovich. I just don't understand why he didn't shoot for a takedown earlier, but anyway, these things happen. That's Curtis Blaydes, unfortunately. But yeah, the fact that people compared this guy to Ngannou, I think he's pretty one-dimensional. Overrated. Let's move on to the light heavyweight division.
Bruh.
This man right here, so yo, pull out your chair, get comfortable, light the fire, get a cup of tea, get a coffee, get your delivery ordered. Save this for later until you've got time, because this right here is the sole purpose of this video. I'm going to be honest, this guy right here sparked this whole idea for this video. Khalil Rountree is probably right now one of the most overrated fighters right now in the UFC. I'm just going to be honest. I mean, this guy's ranked number 7 in the light heavyweight division. You've got people saying he would beat Yuri Prochazka. He'd beat Jamal Hill. Now, I know everybody's getting on the Jamal Hill hate train at the minute. He doesn't beat Jamal Hill. I'm just going to be honest. Like, people saying Jamal Hill is washed just doesn't really make much sense in my opinion, because he lost to Pereira, who's top 5 pound for pound right now, arguably a top 10er all time. Yeah, sit on that and let me know. Wait, pause. But let me know what you think of that in the comments. I think Pereira is arguably a top 10er all time. And then he lost to Yuri Prochazka, who's ranked like what, number 1, number 2 in the light heavyweight division, former champion. I don't understand the hate that he gets, but I don't understand the glaze that Khalil Rountree gets, because, like I said, okay, he had a first good 2 rounds against Pereira, right? A Pereira who wasn't 100% going into this matchup, and that's not me making excuses. I'm just being genuinely serious. If you look into it, Alex Pereira was suffering from a flu type thing, I think, and he had broken toes going into this matchup. I'm not taking away from what Khalil Rountree was able to do. He did have success in there early on against Pereira, but people are saying like he should be ranked top 5. He should be ranked above Hill and Prochazka. Off what? Like, his best win is Anthony Smith.
Huh?
That's the guy's best win. And then are we going to sit and pretend that Anthony Smith is elite? Because, like, no offense to the guy, he's not. He's not elite. But people are pretending. Like, Chris Daukaus, another one of his wins. Dustin Jacoby robbed him. Like, Khalil Rountree arguably didn't win that matchup. Like, Chris Daukaus and Anthony Smith are the guy's 2 best wins. He got knocked out by Johnny Walker. Now, yes, he has improved so much since then, But the glaze that he gets is crazy. He didn't even deserve the title fight in the first place. He was coming off a suspension as well, which people don't talk about, which is just crazy that the guy got the title fight off that. Not saying that he's guilty. He said it was the supplement company's fault, but again, everybody says that shit. But I just don't get the hype. He's fun to watch, don't get me wrong. But like, he was knocked out by Johnny Walker. People get on like he did comfortably beat Anthony Smith, but it wasn't like the way people make it out to be. I just don't get it. And people say he's got the best Muay Thai in the UFC. Personally, I don't think he does. You can say he's got the best Muay Thai in the light heavyweight division, okay. But definitely not in the UFC. Like, you've got Rafael Fiziev in there, you've got Carlos Prates in there. There's other guys who have better Muay Thai than Khalil Rountree. Just in my opinion. He had some success against Alex Pereira, yes. But people say he gave Pereira his toughest test in the UFC, but these people forget about Adesanya and Jan Blachowicz. And I know some people will say, but Jan Blachowicz was only a 3-round fight. But he still gave Pereira his toughest test. Still. Like, people seem to forget what happened in this matchup. He had a couple of successful moments in there. I think why people glaze Khalil Rountree's performance so much is because people expected him to get flatline KO'd in the first round. It didn't happen. But like, when you look at the grand scheme of things, he had some success early on. He dropped Pereira, which is impressive. But the guy got fucking butchered and beat up bad and gassed out. Overrated. Let's move on. Anthony Hernandez in the middleweight division. Now look, I want to start off by saying I think this guy's good. I think he can make a run in this division. Obviously, he's just beat Michel Pereira. He's beat the likes of Roman Kopylov as well. He's obviously fighting Brendan Allen at UFC Seattle, which is a fight that's kind of going under the radar. I think that will be a really fun one. But I don't see him, I don't ever see him challenging for the belt. I don't see him being top 5. I don't even see him beating the likes of Paulo Costa. There's a real deficiency in this guy's game. He does not deal well with body shots at all. He's not particularly massive for this division either. And like, I think even against Brendan Allen, I think he's going to lose, because to really kick on and really, like, for him to show how really good he is, and obviously he has beaten a lot of guys in 3-rounders, but his best work will come in 5-round fights. But when he starts slowly getting up the rankings, like, would you pick a Paulo Costa to lose to him? I personally wouldn't. I think Paulo Costa stops him. I think his body work, his body kicks are too quick. I think he stops him. You look at other guys, you think Brendan Allen's another example. Marvin Vettori, I think, gives him a tough fight over 5 rounds. Jared Cannonier gives him a really hard fight over 5 rounds. Who else is there I can think of? Robert Whittaker. Guys like that. I just don't think he's going to get past him. I think people are kind of glazing him a bit too much now. But he is a good fighter. Let's move on. Welterweight division. We've got Carlos Prates.
Bruh.
Now, Carlos Prates, I think, can beat some guys currently above him in the rankings. But my issue is people were getting on like this guy is like the next coming of like a young Jose Aldo. Like, people are getting on this guy's insane. He's out of the fight nerds and shit like that. What has this guy done for you to like? I had people say that he's going to be potentially the next welterweight champion. And like, he is dangerous on the feet, don't get me wrong. Great Muay Thai, obviously a big puncher. But who and what has he done to warrant that? Like, I know he's on a big KO win streak at the minute, but his best wins are Li Jingliang, which was a brutal win, don't get me wrong, and Neil Magny.
Bruh.
I don't, like, I just need to see more. And the way people are talking about the guy, I just need to see more from him. That's why he's on this list. Moving on, lightweight Michael Chandler. Now,
Bruh.
this might sound a bit contradictive, but like, who rates this guy anymore?
Huh?
But he has to be here because he's number 7th ranked. What the fuck has he done in this division? Do you know why he's still here, outside of the fact that Dana White wants to carry one of his kids? Is Dan Hooker.
Huh?
That's the only reason this guy's this highly ranked. Dan Hooker and the possibility of a McGregor fight, and the UFC want to get McGregor up the rankings. That's it. That is it. That is it. I mean, his latest win is Tony Ferguson.
Bruh.
Tony Ferguson. Like, come on. He doesn't deserve to be number 7 in the ranking. Like, Moicano deserves to be above him. Let's just look at the lightweight rankings quickly. So let's just say Michael Chandler, number 7. Gamrot above him. Beneil above him. Moicano above him. I mean, Fiziev, maybe, like, just put it this way. Michael Chandler should be at least, like, number 11. I'd probably put Fiziev above him, to be honest. There's an argument to be had that Paddy Pimblett could be above him. Really? I really mean that, by the way. I hate when the UFC do that. Pick one of them to be ranked 15 and then get the other one out of the fucking rankings. But, like, you can't give me a reason as why he should be above these guys. I know you can't. Moving on, in the featherweight division, we've got Yair Rodriguez. I like Yair Rodriguez. He's fun to watch. He does have some big wins, obviously, over Josh Emmett. He looked good against Max Holloway. He's beaten the likes of Frankie Edgar and shit like that. But this guy is getting a title eliminator bout coming off a loss.
Bruh.
So he's getting a title eliminator bout against Diego Lopez. Diego Lopez just beat Brian Ortega. Yair Rodriguez just lost to Brian Ortega.
Huh?
Doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. I don't understand. Like, the UFC want this guy to be champion so bad, it's never going to happen. I think he's overrated. I think he's just too weak for this division in terms of when people are going to grapple with him. Don't get me wrong, his kicks are really good, and he is dangerous early on off his back, threatening with submissions, but I don't think he's ever going to be champion. He got a fluky win over Brian Ortega first time round, if we're being honest. Yes, he hurt him in their last matchup, but he won their first matchup because Ortega got injured. In their second matchup, when Ortega got a hold of him and took him down, he just got bullied. Overrated, in my opinion. Bantamweight division, Chito Vera.
Bruh.
Look, I'm going to have to continue to say this until this guy is out of the rankings. Why is he number 6 in the bantamweight division? No, seriously, get your notepad and pen out and jot down ideas and show me it, but make sure it's in picture form as to why this guy is number 6. I'm going to continue to ask the question. I don't get it. His last win is over Pedro Munoz at UFC 292. Who's not even in the rankings. I don't get it. Now, people might comment, nobody even rates Chito Vera, which, okay. But why the fuck's he this highly ranked? This needs to be discussed. I don't get it. I really don't understand it. Like, lost to Corey Sandhagen, lost to Sean O'Malley, lost to Davison Figueiredo. Like, let's just look at the bantamweight rankings. So, Henry Cejudo should be above him, in my opinion. I know Henry Cejudo's on a 2-fight losing streak, but that was to the current champion and the former champion should be above him, right? You've got Aldo, obviously lost to Mario Batista, realistically should be above him. I mean, I don't get it. I don't get why he's this highly ranked. I fucking hate Mario Batista, by the way. But yeah, overrated. And finally, let's just round it off. Amir Albazi. This guy got a robbery win over Kai Car-France, got exposed by Brandon Moreno, 17-2, ranked number 3, doesn't deserve it. Like, why the fuck's he here? He's been so inactive as well. I don't get it. I don't get why this guy is this highly ranked in the division. I really don't get it. Doesn't make any bit of sense to me, because everyone knows that he didn't deserve the win over Kai Car-France. Like, I don't think anybody has came out in favour of saying Amir Albazi won that matchup. If anybody watched it, they know he didn't. And he's still ranked number 3. Like, let's just have a look again at the rankings in the flyweight division. Tatsuro Taira, I'd put him above him. I'd put Kai Car-France above him. I'd put Manel Kape above him. Like, why is he number 3? I don't get it. Some of the rankings just don't make any sense. But yeah, that's going to do us for today. Those are the most overrated fighters, in my opinion, in every UFC weight class. You can let me know your opinions in the comments below. And as always, like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And I will see you again in the next one.